There's the transactional relationship,
Yes.
and there's also a transformational
Yeah.
relationship. So when you're looking at a transactional relationship, this is when you share your services and then you get value out of it, whether in form of money or anything or something else.
Yeah.
When you're looking at a transformational relationship, this is a relationship that is long-term, that is built on values, that is built on vision, and that is not short-lived. It's built stage by stage.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Brendmo Business Hub channel. Today in the studio, I'm joined by Brenda Hurudza. Welcome to Brendmo Business Hub, Brenda.
Thank you so much, Modern, for inviting me, and thank you everyone.
Thank you. So just as a way of introduction, Brenda is a very important person to Brendmo, the co-founder of Brendmo. We founded Brendmo, myself and Brenda, and now she is running a company. She also founded a company called B Advisory, which is an accounting firm that specializes in accounting, tax, and advisory, even business coaching. Welcome, Brenda. Thank you very much for coming through. Very important to talk to you.
Thank you so much, Marlene.
Thank you. Also, today we are going to dissect a very important topic about entrepreneurship. Right, Brenda, what initially drew you to the entrepreneurial journey?
All right, thank you so much, Marlene. In terms of my entrepreneurship journey, I know so many people plan about it. They start thinking around it, especially from college. But with me, it was something that just came in as an opportunity. I can't really tell a point in time where I said I wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But an opportunity arose. I think when we started, it was just something that we were discussing. And then from there, we thought, let's just jump in and find out how it is. But as we progress, we really realized that it's something that we really aspire to be, and it became a passion. That's how we ended up being in this entrepreneurship.
Yeah, so it wasn't unplanned, but it became your thing. You know, you're very, very interesting, because sometimes people say, no, I've been wanting to be so, but your journey is quite interesting. That you found that actually you didn't plan it, but this is what you really wanted.
Yes.
Yeah, throughout the whole journey. Okay, so can you share maybe a story about a memorable or maybe entrepreneurial relationship you have had, or in the past or in the current?
Yes. When I look at the entrepreneurship environment or the entrepreneurship journey, I realize that it's not really one person that can actually change your mind or that can actually grow your way of doing things. I've seen that there are so many people that have come into my life, you included, obviously, because we started Brendmo together. And each and every person has come in with a different learning or a different aspect that has actually shaped me as an individual or shaped my entrepreneurship journey. And I see it as more like a puzzle, that each and every person is a piece.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, the entrepreneurship is the final building block that you are looking in.
Yeah.
So I can actually say there are so many people that have found it or that have resulted in me being an entrepreneur that I am today. Some of them I've never met them, actually joined their webinars. Some of them is through reading their books. So really a lot of people have contributed to my life as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, wow. We should actually talk about people always say that it takes a village to build to build a person or something like that, which you are actually attesting to, that you can't really attribute to one person or what because you are meeting different people, you are reading different books, you are attending different webinars, which makes my next question, Brenda, to say, I know in an entrepreneurial journey there are a lot of people always say build the relationship. So how important is building relationship, and can you take us through around relationships in entrepreneur?
All right. So when it comes to building relationships, it's actually very important in entrepreneurship. Actually, I don't know if you know about this saying that says collaboration is the new currency.
Yes.
So when you look at a business as an entrepreneur, as one person you can only do so much.
Yes.
But as two or more people, you can actually come up with different things that can grow to significance, that can actually make changes or make significant movements and differences in people's lives.
Yeah.
So I believe relationships are critical and they are part of a journey of an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so relationship, as you can hear that if you are in this journey, you need to be having those skills of sustaining and making those relationships. There are different types of relationship, Brenda. I heard that there's something called transactional relationship and also transformational. Maybe take us through the difference between those.
When you look at entrepreneurship, yes, there are two different types. There's the transactional relationship, and there's also a transformational relationship. So when you're looking at a transactional relationship, this is when you share your services and then you get value out of it, whether in form of money or anything or something else. But when you're looking at a transformational relationship, this is a relationship that is long term, that is built on values, that is built on vision, and that is not short lived. It's built stage by stage. But a transactional is actually something that is short. You come up with an objective of what you need to really achieve. You work on it and you are done. That's it. But the transformational is long term.
It's long. So transaction there is a transaction that brought us together, and if that transaction is done, that's it. But transformational, I'm thinking also from the word transformational. There is a long term, like what you are saying, and there's something that is going to change within, apart from the transaction. Wow, very, very interesting. Thanks for that, Brenda. So can you actually maybe give us an example where a transactional approach might be appropriate?
Yes, a transactional approach may be appropriate. Let's say there's a project that you're working on, there are timelines. I believe that's what we do on a day-to-day basis. And a service needs to be provided for. You agree, you do the work, you pay each other. That's it. So that's a type of a transactional relationship.
Okay. So what are the long-term benefits maybe of transformational in your own words with other entrepreneurs?
Yes. So when you look at a transformational relationship, I'll give you an example. In terms of, actually, I was talking to this other business partner, and he said they went to see a potential client. So when they arrived, you know how it is with entrepreneurs and business people, it's supposed to be 30 minutes. The agenda is prepared. But then surprisingly, that was in China. Surprisingly, when they arrived there, they were hoping that they were going to go to the workshop. So it is the manufacturing plant. But surprisingly, they were directed to the boardroom. And then within the boardroom, they started asking them questions, personal questions. So do you have a family? What are your hobbies? And then everyone is getting frustrated to say, you know what, we're supposed to be here in 30 minutes. And then after this, we got. And then after some time, they had to align to what these guys were asking. Then after some time, then they realized that the people started brightening up, these potential clients. By the time they went to the workshop, they started even revealing information that was beyond the transaction. So in that part, you see the transformational became a significant part that allowed the transaction to be significant. Because if from knowing the people, the values and what they were discussing, they realized that they could trust the people. So a transformational relationship usually tries to build the trust. And in a entrepreneurship setup, it's all about trust. I cannot be in business with you if I don't trust you. So that's what transformational relationship tries to achieve.
So in other words, what you are talking about, if you are in this journey of entrepreneur, the transformational is the one that is going to actually even bring more value. Because there is a lot of trust, really. You cannot do business with someone you don't trust, like what you are saying. So that one goes deeper than the transaction. And maybe the transaction, I like what you actually say, that it becomes bigger. Because there's opening up, there's a lot of things that come up within the trust that you would have built in the transformational.
Yes, because have you noticed that the first time you meet a client, they are very specific.
Yes.
They give you specific questions. But then as you get to know them, then you know what, I also have this other opportunity that I would want you to look into.
Yes.
But they will never mention that the first time.
Yes, yes.
So that's a transformational relationship, because they're trying to understand who you are. They're trying to see if your values align with them.
Yes.
And then if they are comfortable with you, that's when they open up.
Yeah.
So it's more like friendship.
Yes.
There are things that you speak to your friend, but you cannot say the same things to a stranger.
Yes.
So that's the same.
Oh, wow.
Situation.
Interesting. So looking at the fact that this transformational is very, very important for entrepreneurs or people who are getting in business, what are the practical strategies that an entrepreneur that you can actually recommend to someone who want to be an entrepreneur to foster those transformational relationships?
I believe transformational relationships should actually be an intentional thing.
Yes.
As an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Be open to go to places where you can meet other people.
Yes.
That are within your space. And also be in a position to ask questions that will help you to know whether this person is aligned to your vision or your values. And also be open as well when people ask you questions.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you feel like a person is now, they want to trade into my privacy.
Yes.
But really they want to see if they can align with you. So if you put those, I think it's something that you have to intentionalize. Yeah. To say no, it's all about business. Yes. Yes. And the reason why they're in business with you is they've got maybe a 5% knowledge of who you are, but they want to get to a 50%. Yeah. So that they can give you what they really want. Yes. So be open and also get into places where you get to learn from other people and also mentors. Yeah. Other related. Ask questions, get to understand how are these people managing to get projects. Because sometimes you see there are people that it's very easy for them to get assignments, but then some they struggle. Yes. Get to understand the trades, the behaviors, and also the strategies that they are implementing in their business for them to get those transformational relationships. Okay. That will ultimately grow the transactional side of things. Yeah. Oh, wow. So I think there you have to our viewers, especially the entrepreneurs in the business, it's important to be intentional about transformational relationships. Brenda, one of the most important parts as well is the sharing of values and goals with partners or with business associates. Yes. So how can an entrepreneur, from what you have experienced and what you have seen, I know you work with a lot of businesses as well. How can an entrepreneur identify that this partner is sharing the same vision and the goals? I believe there are two important things that you need to actually do as an entrepreneur. The first thing is you do your research. Yeah. I believe each and every assignment, research is critical. Yeah. But when you get to meet people, ask questions. Yeah. I believe when you ask questions, you are in a position to know whether the person has got the same values as you, or whether your values are not aligned. And sometimes we've got perceptions. Yeah. You know, we judge a person before actually get to know them better. Yeah. But when you ask questions, you get to clarify some of the things. So the other part I wanted to explain was clarity. Be clear. Be clear what you are looking for. Be clear what the other person is also trying to communicate to you. Yeah. If you have those two things, I believe you'll be good to go. And make sure that you are in places where you have that opportunity as well. Yeah. Networking groups, like-minded people. For example, if a person who likes to go to church or if a person who loves business, then look for networking events where you also meet other business people. Yeah. Then from there, you do your questioning and your clarity for you to know. Yeah, they've got the same values. No, I think that's very important because I think a lot of people undervalue the sharing of values and the research around that with the partners that you are getting. But it's a very critical, like what you are saying, that do you share the same common value or goals within that, so that at least you see the alignment of that. Thanks for that. I think you have actually spoken about also network. I think that's the essence of entrepreneur. Go out there. You cannot have business if you are not going out there, which is very important. So in terms of looking at, maybe you are trying to see, do we share the same common goals and whatever, or objective or vision? How important is open communication and trust in building strong entrepreneurial relationships?
So maybe you can talk about different entrepreneurial relationships with the other entrepreneurs, with other partners, with, how important is open communication?
Open communication is critical.
Yeah.
Actually, I think important is actually understated. It's critical.
Yeah.
Because you get to understand what is at stake, if I
Yes.
can put it that way.
Yeah.
You get to be clear of what needs to happen.
Yeah.
I believe clarity is one of the important aspects of running a business.
Yes.
And also an important aspect in terms of you creating a relationship.
Yeah.
And we are clear, it's easy for you to put steps and
Yeah.
objectives. I believe each and every business, you come up with strategy, you build a strategy.
Yes.
But when you build a strategy, isn't it, they tell us that the next thing you need to come up with steps.
Yes.
And then from the steps, you put your timelines and everything.
Mm.
But if you are not clear,
Yeah.
how do you implement those?
Yes.
So communication is actually critical.
Mm-hmm.
And relationships as well are critical. And also that's when you also bring in the issue of values.
Yes.
Some people are laid back.
Mm.
Some people are focused on time.
Yeah.
Some people are focused on quality.
Mm.
Some people prefer to talk,
Yeah.
prefer to communicate, but they don't want to be involved in the actual project. Some people
Yes.
like to work on the project, but then they don't want to be in the open.
Yes.
So if there's clear communication, you know where to fit who.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's what results in growth
Yeah.
in a business.
Wow. I think in every aspect, even when you hear in business, communication is important. So I think talking and understanding
Yes.
and clarity that you are actually saying. So looking at now in today's fast-paced world, Brenda, how can entrepreneur make time to nurture meaningful connections? Because you see, very difficult. I was actually laughing at some point. My husband was telling me that I told you, but you were on your phone. But I'm like, I didn't even hear that. You said it yesterday. You get it? So looking at that in today's fast-paced, maybe I was on WhatsApp doing something else. How can entrepreneur make time to nurture those meaningful connections?
Yes, I understand what you mean. It's becoming more and more complex,
Yeah.
especially with the introduction of the chat GPT, there's co-pilot,
Yeah.
there's what. So you see, it's actually forcing people to talk to themselves, to
Yes.
be on their own.
Yes.
I go back again to that point of intentional. It has
Yeah.
to be intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember there was a lady that I was communicating with, and then I went to communicating with her on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Then I saw on I think there's a message that is on a WhatsApp which is written, "No phone Sundays."
Okay.
So for me, that means she has made a decision that every Sunday she doesn't touch her phone.
Wow.
So I believe those are some of the things that we can implement to just make sure that we nurture those relationships. Otherwise, we end up talking to our phones.
Yes.
And those transformational relationships won't be nurtured.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think what I'm picking from what you are saying, that yes, the world is fast-paced, but be intentional about making those meaningful connections, which is very, very important. So have you actually witnessed, or in this journey, any challenges specific to building this transformational? Because I think the core of our discussion in this conversation with Brenda is making meaningful transformational relationship in the entrepreneurial journey. So Brenda, have you actually witnessed any challenges specific to building this transformational relationship in the entrepreneurial world? Challenges. What are the challenges that are there?
I believe the challenges that are there in the entrepreneurship journey is time.
Yeah.
Remember, as an entrepreneur, especially when you're starting your business,
yes,
you are the HR manager.
Yes.
You are the receptionist.
Yes.
You are also the person who's coming up with strategies.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, but apart from that, you've got your own personal needs.
Yeah.
So time becomes a constraint, and I believe that is the greatest challenge in terms of entrepreneurs in building those relationships.
Yes.
There's another program or webinar that I attended, and I believe it also helped with the constraints.
Yes.
Where the speaker was talking about coming up with what they call the happy calendar or happy schedule. Basically, what you are saying is you should start with things that matter in your life. Let's say you love to to spend more time with your kids.
Mm.
And then maybe you want to go and watch a match with your child, and the child plays soccer on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
First thing you do, you go to your calendar.
Yeah.
So if it's Wednesday 3 to 4,
Yeah.
3 to 4, you put soccer there.
Okay.
And then if you need time to research, you need time to focus on yourself, you come up with a time as well. You plug it in on your calendar. Afterwards, that's when you plug in the list.
Okay.
So what is happening now is you've actually optimized your whole being. Because remember, entrepreneurship is not only about the transactional or the transformation you're talking about, but both of them are equally important. So that will help you to deal with some of the challenges. So you have to say, I don't have time.
Yes.
But if it's plugged on your calendar to say every Wednesday, I have to meet with Molen to discuss business ideas.
Yes.
Then no one is going to be booked at that specific time.
Yes.
So that I believe those are some of the things that we can put in place, and time has really become the greatest challenge or obstacle in an entrepreneurship life.
Yes. Hey, because it's you are very right that you find out that you don't have the time, but you have to make it work, and making sure that you plug in what is important in there. So there are a lot of ways. I think you have spoken about the schedule. Scheduling all those things in your calendar, things that you have that needs to be done, has to be done, but you need to be intentional and plug it in there. How can some of these challenges be actually overcome in this world of entrepreneur? Besides, I know you have already touched in that component of saying be intentional. Time is a rare commodity for everyone, and maybe you can touch about other challenges as well, and how that challenge can actually be overcome as well.
So I believe a proposal would be for you to maximize on those transformational relationships.
Yes.
Make sure you've got a legal friend.
Yeah.
An accountant, a marketing person.
Yeah.
And then you barter trade your services. Yes. That way is going to manage as well the time issue that I was talking about earlier. And in respect, you've got a person who's actually trained to maximize on that.
Yeah.
In most entrepreneurs, the challenge that they have is finance, cash flows. That one is always also been resolved. I'll do your accounting. You do my marketing.
Yes.
Barter trade. There's no transactional
dollar.
But at the same time, we are now meeting our objective. So I believe those are some of the things as well we can think of as entrepreneurs as we are building our businesses.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, wow. No, that's you, because you see, as you said, you need to be market eye, all those and so resource constraints, like what we are saying, but being intentional about looking at how are you going to make sure that you solve those, you have everything that is needed and you solve it very well is very, very important. The barter trade, going back to basics. Brenda, just to wrap up our conversation, your final piece or advice to entrepreneurs out there who want to build a network or strong, meaningful relationships. What is your advice? One, to the people that still want to go on the journey of entrepreneur, those that are in, maybe they're actually struggling, because a lot of people struggle to network, to get into that transformational that you were speaking about. It's all about transaction. So what is your last concluding remarks or word of advice in there?
Yes, so to all aspiring entrepreneurs and also entrepreneurs, I believe there's the issue of mentorship.
Yes.
There are some people that have already walked through the road.
Yes.
They've already gone through the same challenges that you are experiencing. I believe it's always good to look for a person that you can shadow.
Yeah.
There are so many people that you can actually discuss with, not necessarily a mentor where you have to be paying each and every day.
Yes.
But there are also people that are actually successful that you look up to. That's why you see there's an emphasis of who is your role model. You see, it's a very popular question. Who is your role model?
Yeah.
Really, there are so many role models that we can aspire to be, and it's important for you to get to link with those people so that they can give you the directions or the ropes on how to go about it. There are also different books that are there. There's a lot, especially with the technology that is there. There's so much free content that we can maximize on.
Yeah.
For us to learn how to network, how to create those transformational relationships. Because what I've noticed with what is happening now with the technology, trust has become a very critical aspect.
Yeah.
And for you to actually grow in any space, you need to be trusted.
Yeah.
And if you've noticed, most people, before they even give out maybe a tender or something, they usually go and ask you, do you know someone who can ask you to help me with this one? So it's because they trust you.
Yeah.
And that is transformational relationship. So I believe if you can maximize on that, look for a mentor, look for a person that has walked your journey. Those networking events, you get to meet other ladies or other business people that can share their advice or their journeys.
Yeah.
You from learning, then you implement. Sometimes we learn, but we don't implement.
Yes.
So it's also about implementing that we've learned. And I believe from there we'll be in a position to grow transformational relationships and also ultimately grow our businesses to the next level.
Wow. What a mouthpiece of advice to upcoming entrepreneurs, especially looking at the fact that we are all women, and also a piece of advice that we actually have given to women. They attend those events, because I know entrepreneur as a woman, which is also a subject for another day, Brenda, that we can talk about. What are the challenges of entrepreneur as a woman and all those kind of things. But you need to network. You need to find a mentor, find an advisory board, a coach, someone you can lean on, or you can actually share. Don't struggle with things that other people has already solved.
Yes.
Very, very important. Thanks for that, Brenda. Thank you very much for accepting this invitation, and it's very, very important for our viewers. I know the ones that are looking into entrepreneurship, or those that are in there. Very, very important to talk to people who are walking the journey. Thank you for sharing the importance of transformational relationship building as an entrepreneur. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Megan, for coming.